mountain streams where rushing water is continuously aerated. Most of us learn at an early age to drink from a stream only where the waters run white, because that's where it gets cleansed of germs. The reason is that H2O2 is formed there due to the water's rapid agitation, and that's what kills any harmful microbes present. By just shaking a bottle of water vigorously for a while, you can tuck enough extra oxygen into it to form detectable amounts of H2O2, improving its purity, flavor, and vitality. It turns out that spring waters at Lourdes, France, long recognized for their remarkable healing properties, are very high in natural hydrogen peroxide. The spring is fed by high-altitude snowmelt, so the snow apparently absorbs unusually large quantities of ozone on its way from the upper atmosphere. Other less-known high-altitude springs are said to be likewise effective. Similar benefits can be obtained in a swimming pool or hot tub by discarding the chlorinating system, simply pouring in H2O2, or by bubbling ozone through the water. One simple method of making pool-grade ozone is to pump air past an enclosed ultraviolet lamp. Raw uncooked vegetables and fruits contain natural hydrogen peroxide. Cooking drives off the extra oxygen. Fresh fruit juices are well known for their blood cleansing and revitalizing capabilities, especially when they are not combined with other foods. This is largely due to the H2O2 they contain. Reconstituted frozen juices have much less and are no longer alive, thus they are not nearly as effective. H2O2 is heart of the immune system. Mother's milk contains a high amount of H2O2, especially colostrum, the first milk secreted after birth, which activates the newborn's immune system. H2O2 is the first line of the body's defense systems and key to many other metabolic processes. Under conditions of optimum health, H2O2 is produced by the body's defense systems and key to many other metabolic processes. Under conditions of optimum health, H2O2 is produced by the body's immune system in whatever amounts are needed to quickly destroy any invading hostile organisms. It is made by combining water in the body with free oxygen that is supposed to be constantly available. When the body is oxygen starved, it can't produce enough H2O2 to wipe out invading pathogens, which can then get the upper hand and cause visible disease. Oxygen boost is key to other healing methods. When penicillin is effective against infection, it is largely due to the formation of bactericidal amounts of H2O2 when glucose is oxidized by O2 in the presence of penicillin notation. General Biochemistry, Fruton and Simmons, 5577.1, F944, page 339. Much has been made of the healing properties of interferon, but it is unbelievably expensive. However, much of the effectiveness is apparently due to the fact that it stimulates production of H2O2 and other oxygen intermediates, which are key factors in reactivating the immune system. Journal of Interferon Research, Volume 3, Number 2, 1983, page 143 to 151. This interferon may turn out to be simply a very elaborate way to accomplish essentially the same thing as the H2O2 regimen. Vitamin C, ascorbic acid, has long been recognized as essential to the proper use of high oxygen by the cells. Dr. Linus Pauling has demonstrated that large doses of vitamin C are effective against cancer. The mainstream medical community still has not acknowledged this discovery, let alone put it to use, despite Dr. Pauling's credentials. As it turns out, vitamin C actually creates extra H2O2 in the body. Organic germanium is gaining increasingly recognition as a potent healing substance, primarily through the work of Dr. Kazuhiko Asai. This compound directly increases the body's oxygen supply as it contains a great deal of oxygen in the form that can be easily assimilated. Chahibo is a tree that grows in the Andes and fixes high concentrations of oxygen in crystalline form in its inner bark. The bark has been used for centuries by the native peoples of the area to prevent and reverse illnesses, and it is one reason why they do not get cancer. In recent years, it has become popular in the U.S., and it gets by the FDA as an herbal tea, whose distributors wisely make no medical claims for it. Again, much of its effectiveness is apparently due to its high oxygen content, released in solution when brewed as a tea. Causes of oxygen depletion. There are several very common practices that drop a person's oxygen far below where it should ideally be. At sea level, 20% of the oxygen is supposed to be oxygen. but city air goes down as low as 10% due to smog and removal of trees. Air that tastes bad induces a tendency to breathe shallowly, getting even less oxygen to the blood. So does lack of exercise. Carbon monoxide and smog does not normally occur in nature in much quantity, since it's formed by incomplete combustion of carbon compounds. It is electrically unbalanced, so it seeks to bond with any available oxygen to form the more stable carbon dioxide. Those who breathe too much carbon monoxide tend to die fast or slow depending on the concentration. It strips oxygen molecules from the blood to form CO2, which the body can't use and must exhale, at least until the oxygen runs out. The fact that the body considers CO2 a waste product, by the way, doesn't say much for carbonated beverages. Tap water is very low in oxygen, having no opportunity to be aerated during its journey through the pipes, and being loaded down with chlorine and various contaminants. Since cooking drives the oxygen out of vegetables, if one's diet is mostly cooked or processed foods, that's yet another oxygen source lost. Eating, fasting, and oxygen balance. Overeating is so common in the US it's considered normal. One cause is the widespread use of oral antibiotics. While destroying the target's germs, these drugs also kill off one's intestinal flora, which are needed for healthy digestion. With these friendly bacteria gone, digestive efficiency plummets. As a result, the sensation of hunger comes more often and lasts longer as the body tries to compensate for ineffective digestion by increasing the amount consumed. Even just eating daily without even giving the gastronomical tract a rest loads down the blood with toxins and impurities, especially uric acid crystals. Under a microscope, these resemble tiny coffin lids. Interestingly enough, another clue to our Creator's whimsical sense of humor. When the waste products exceed the cleansing capacity of the kidneys, the blood ends up having to just haul it around the body and stash it wherever possible. These toxins literally take up so much room in the blood cells that the cells can't take on enough oxygen when they pass through the lungs. The blood's primary function of picking up and distributing oxygen gets blocked by overuse of the garbage hauling function. Fasting restores health by giving the overloaded blood cells a chance to dump the toxins and inert matter through normal organs of elimination at a rate they can handle, instead of through the skin, as in acne or other inappropriate places. If the fast is long enough, accumulated residues in the body are also scored out and expelled, giving a considerable spiritual resurgence once all the backlog is cleared away. While the debris is flushing out, various toxic reactions may come and go. Once the blood is cleansed of the red corpuscles have a lot more room for oxygen molecules, the oxygen saturation of the tissues is high, and health and energy are boosted considerably. Each breath now gives more life than it was able to in the blood's earlier state. Most long-lived native peoples who are not affected by our common diseases either include fasting as a regular part of their yearly food cycles or eat much less overall than industrialized peoples. Today, many Americans are existing at such high levels of toxicity that their toxic reactions when attempting to fast can seem intense enough to make them start eating again before any serious cleansing can be accomplished. Fortunately, one can partially bypass the lungs and get blood oxygen level back up by taking oxygenated water internally and through the skin. Several weeks of detoxification with this regimen will also make it easier to fast without discomfort if one chooses. It reduces appetite logically enough to a level more in line with the body's actual needs. The bacteria that aid digestion are not killed by oral use of H2O2 as long as it's diluted properly. Oxygen water may even cure stupidity. Perhaps the greatest potential benefit is the reversal of slight brain damage caused by long-term oxygen pollution, which can be observed in the average human and is sometimes not all that slight. It's well known that after about 9 minutes of no oxygen, from drowning or whatever, you can kiss your brain goodbye. But the implications of constant gradual oxygen starvation in our cities somehow escape notice, despite the tiredness, depression, irritability, poor judgment, and health problems affecting so many citizens. Increasing the oxygen supply to the brain and nervous system will reverse these conditions. The oxygen water regimen improves alertness, reflexes, memory, and apparently intelligence, and may offer the elderly a new weapon against senility and related disorders. Alzheimer's and Parkinson's are reported to be responding to it. Alcoholics who start taking H2O2 soon lose interest in alcohol, and the thirst does not come back. Look up what alcohol does with your blood oxygen and your ability to use it, and you'll see why. One possible spin-off